There is new evidence tonight that the FBI and Justice Department agreed to destroy the computers belonging to senior Clinton aides in exchange for their cooperation in the now closed criminal investigation. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge with the latest on that. Good evening, Catherine.
Well, thank you, Brett. Writing to the Attorney General Loretta Lynch, the Republican chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, said the 5 immunity deals include 2 side agreements with Clinton attorneys Cheryl Mills and Heather Samuelson, who oversaw the sorting and destruction of 30,000 Clinton emails deemed personal. Under the Justice Department deal, the FBI got access to their computers, and in return, they were shielded from prosecution for obstructing justice, and the FBI agreed to destroy the laptops after concluding its search. Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte told Fox News, quote, "These side agreements with Mills and Samuelson, coupled with the many unusual aspects of the FBI's investigation, cast serious doubts about whether the decision to not prosecute Hillary Clinton was made impartially or was predetermined by the Justice Department." Last week, FBI Director Comey was pressed on why investigators relied on these agreements to seize evidence rather than the routine method of impaneling a grand jury.
In my experience, you can often do things faster with informal agreements, especially when you're interacting with lawyers. In this particular investigation, the investigative team really wanted to get access to the laptops that were used to sort these emails.
At today's briefing, Fox News asked if the State Department condoned the destruction of the laptops, given the ongoing Freedom of Information Act lawsuits for Clinton's emails.
I can't speak to immunity agreements, and I certainly can't speak to the FBI's investigation. As we've said before, our focus is on processing for public release the materials we have received from the FBI.
A Justice Department spokesman said officials are reviewing the letter. The department has 7 days to respond, Brett.
Catherine, we've been hearing a lot about this WikiLeaks announcement that they're going to come out with some blockbuster that's going to change this race, but it's been changed now to a video release tomorrow?
Well, that's right. The head of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, canceled a dramatic announcement from the balcony of the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he's been living for the past 5 years, to avoid extradition to Sweden, where he faces sex charges. In a tweet posted today, WikiLeaks said the presentation was moved to Berlin and will now be a live video link after developing specific information about Assange's safety. A former senior U.S. cybersecurity official said the decision may be calculated.
Could it be because he wants more attention tomorrow with the big WikiLeaks anniversary? Or could it be that his primary source of material has told him they would prefer to wait?
WikiLeaks is billing the announcement as the past, present, and future of the group on its 10th year anniversary and not an October surprise, Brett.
And of course, we will have all the details of that. Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.
We're getting word that Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks guy, that he has another October surprise, and it's going to go down tomorrow. He was originally going to come out with some information on Hillary Clinton out on a balcony, and he's canceled that because of some security concerns, death threats. Now he says he's coming out with a video announcement tomorrow.
Yeah, and we don't know. We don't know how damning that can be. We've seen emails and their impacts before and what it has done to this campaign. It likely could be a focus of stirring up all of that again, and that is not a good thing for the Clinton campaign if that happens. Again, you're right. When you're explaining or defending, it's not a good day.
And bottom of the fold has Hillary Clinton and what she did to Bill Clinton's accusers, who accused him of having an affair, many of which turned out he was having an affair. How she went aggressively after them in the New York Times today. How big a story is this? I know it's early on a Monday. What kind of legs does this have?
Well, I think it gets legs some places. I don't think it'll get picked up a lot of places. I guarantee you it's not going to be a focus of the vice presidential debate. I doubt they're going to go down these roads. And by the way, vice president debate with Senator Kaine and Governor Pence, people are looking at it. I don't think it'll be a barn burner, but there will be some serious policy probably discussed along the way. Brian, I think there might be, some stories, especially if some of those women speak out themselves.
So I think Catherine Willey already has this morning.
So you're saying Bill Clinton's affairs have legs?
Ooh.
I think you said that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You said it first, right. You and Brian.
Yeah, let's just get those headlines out of the way. I'll take the blame. I usually do, Brett. Thank you.
I understand the tax laws better than almost anyone, which is why I am one who can truly fix them. I understand it. I get it. And that is what I commit to do. We want fairness, we want money brought in, and we want money to be spent when it goes out, because they spend our tax dollars so unfairly and unwisely. Remember that. As a businessman and real estate developer, I have legally used the tax laws to my benefit and to the benefit of my company, my investors, and my employees. I mean, honestly, I have brilliantly used those laws. I have often said on the campaign trail that I have a fiduciary responsibility to pay no more tax than is legally required, like anybody else. Or, put another way, to pay as little tax as legally possible. And I must tell you, I hate the way they spend our tax dollars. And believe me, that makes a difference. As a major real estate developer in this country and throughout the world, I face enormous taxes: city taxes, state taxes, sales taxes, excise taxes, employee taxes, federal taxes, VAT taxes, different countries. It's my job to minimize the overall tax burden to the greatest extent possible, which allows me to reinvest in neighborhoods, in workers, and build amazing properties which fuel tremendous growth in their communities, and always help our great providers of jobs, and we have to help our small businesses. What it's all about. What it's all about. The news media is now obsessed with an alleged tax filing from the 1990s at the end of one of the most brutal economic downturns in our country's history. If you remember the early 90s, other than, I would say, 1928, there was nothing even close. The conditions facing real estate developers in that early 90 period were almost as bad as the Great Depression of 1929 and far worse than the Great Recession of 2008, not even close. What had been a booming economy in the era of Ronald Reagan changed dramatically, and the business landscape changed with it. Bank failures and collapse, the absolute total destruction of the savings and loan industry, and the implosion of the retail market and real estate in general, something we've never seen anything like it. Many business people, including many of my competitors and some of my friends, were not able to survive. Companies, jobs, and opportunities were lost, and lives were destroyed as tens of thousands of people were put out of work. Some of the biggest and strongest people and companies went absolutely bankrupt, which I never did, by the way. Are you proud of me? Would have loved to use that card, but I just didn't want to do it. Thank you. Yet today, my company is bigger, stronger, far greater assets than it's ever had before, more premium properties. We've never done better. It's the strongest we've ever been. And we employ thousands of people, and over the years have employed thousands and thousands of people, which is the thing that frankly makes me most happy. That did not happen by chance or luck. It happened by action and talent. A lot of talent. I was able to use the tax laws of this country and my business acumen to dig out of the real estate mess, you would call it a depression, when few others were able to do what I did. In those most, I'm a star. Thank you. You are too. Oh, they were amazing times. In those most difficult times, when so many had their backs to the wall, I reached within myself and delivered for my company, my employees, my family, and the communities where my properties existed, and I really delivered. Those who spend their entire lives within the confines of government work and who know virtually nothing of business fail to understand the skill, dedication, the sheer grit it takes for a company to climb out of an economic depression of the scale we had in the early 90s. People like my opponent, Hillary Clinton, whose only... Folks, let's win on November 8th. Okay, let's just win. Anyway, her only method of making money is by selling government favors and granting access to special interests, know nothing about how businesses succeed and grow. Hillary Clinton has never created a single job in her entire life.
So Donald Trump set out these diversity outreach programs. How did you get involved?
Basically, I got in contact with Michael Cohen, who is the special counsel to Mr. Donald Trump, and I informed him that I would like to help out with the outreach for not just minorities, but for women, for Hispanics, for Asians, for Arabs, for everyone to learn about this candidate. You know, he talked about jobs and improving communities and national security, tougher immigration, schools, everything. If you're an American, you are concerned about. It doesn't matter that you're black or white or purple. I always tell people when ISIS straps on their bombs, they don't say, hey, let the black person walk by, let the Hispanic walk by, and then blow the white guy up. No, they say, I'm going to blow up Americans. They see us as Americans.
That's
and as soon
true.
as we see each other that way, the better.
What do you say to people who are concerned about his comments about Mexicans are rapists, or the president's birth certificate, or Muslims shouldn't be allowed in the country? How do you address that?
What I would say is that illegal, legal immigrants are tired of fighting illegal immigrants for jobs, just like Americans are tired of fighting illegal immigrants for jobs. Every good Muslim, I don't know one good Muslim who has a problem with Donald Trump saying a radical Islamic terrorist, because they are sick and tired of the stain that comes on the religion when you have this minority, this few that's ruining it all for the entire religion. That's the same thing as far as with black people. All black people aren't bad. We all work. We do what we're supposed to do. But you have pockets in our communities that are shooting people. Right here in Chicago, 3,600 dead in the black community. And so we have got to be concerned about one another. And what Donald Trump is saying is, look, I want to be the president of the United States. I don't want to be the president of black America, white America.
So you'd want to see stop and frisk on the south and west side?
Stop and frisk is already on the south side and the west side of Chicago. I'm in the courtroom every single day. And a lot of my clients that come in have been stopped and frisked, and they found guns or drugs or whatever. And some of them, they were innocent. Don't get me wrong. But that's going on every single day. What we need is for the people in these violent communities need jobs. We know that when Americans are at work, who has time to think about crime when you're at work? We know that the devil's workshop is idle hands. And so what Donald Trump is saying, look, his best answer is, I want to bring jobs. Let me do it for you. Best debate line: Democrats care about the inner city when it's election time. After election time, what do you get? Zero. What was her response? Quiet. Why? Because that is the truth. He told the unadulterated truth. And even though people don't want to hear the truth is bitter, but we have to swallow it. The Democratic Party, I voted for over 20 years of my life. I voted for Barack Obama when he said he was going to bring hope and change. And yes, we can. And no, we didn't. The jobs didn't come. The better schools didn't come. The investment in our communities did not come. National security, our borders are open. We're not safe. We're not safe. And we've got to stop thinking as black and white and purple and Arab. We've got to start thinking as Americans. And that's what Donald Trump is saying. We're Americans, America first.
So do you think he won over people last night?
I do. I believe that people who are looking at the issues and not just emotionally voting, based on I don't like what he said, I don't like what he did. Neither candidate is perfect. But you've got to look at the candidate that is saying, look, jobs, national security, tougher immigration, education. We need to stop being screwed on these trade deals. We are getting screwed. Let's get people in there who know more about money that can fix this $19 trillion debt. That's what people have to be concerned with as Americans, not Democrat, not Republican, as Americans.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure to meet you.